What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are continuing our new realistic rebuild series with our third team. We've done the Raiders. We've done the Eagles. Now I feel like I suggested it. I got no backlash in the comments. We returned to the very first team that we rebuilt in the Madden 20 cycle. Oh, that feels like it was just yesterday, way back in August. And that is the Arizona Cardinals, a team that is very much like a bottom 10 team in terms of Madden overall, but they do have an answer at the most important position, the quarterback spot. I think Kyler Murray, when we play with him, he didn't have any sort of abilities. Now we know that they have upgraded him just a little bit. I think he has, obviously once his dev trade unlocks, they gave him like that thing where he's super fast in the pocket. The thing that Lamar Jackson has. So that's going to be pretty cool because when we play with Kyler Murray, he just didn't play or develop like a scrambling quarterback should, and it kind of killed the vibe for this game. So I will also state at the tip of this video that tomorrow we are going to be unveiling the next episode of the brand new Madden franchise mode. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for that. We've had some issues, we've had some hiccups, but everything, we'll be actually able to record it on Saturday night, or tonight. Actually, I'm recording this on Friday, so I'm excited for that to fully release. But let's focus, recenter everything back here for the first 5 years of our Arizona Cardinals rebuild. As part of the new realistic rebuilds, we do 10 years, 2 5-year rebuilds. Looking at our squad, so we got Kyler Murray at quarterback. I actually don't know what his dev trade is. He did win Offensive Rookie of the Year, which, there's going to be Cardinal fans watching this. I think his stats were good. His stats were impressive. Call me jaded, but, I do think he won the award much more because he was a quarterback than really, it's a tough award. I think Kyler Murray, you got A.J. Brown for the Tennessee Titans, Miles Sanders for the Eagles, Josh Jacobs for the Raiders. I think there was a real good crop of rookies, but I think when you look at Kyler and Josh Jacobs, they played well, but their teams didn't make the playoffs. And I would argue that when you look at what A.J. Brown did, especially down the stretch for the Titans, when you look at Miles Sanders did, especially down the stretch for the Eagles, those guys were vital for their teams making the playoffs. But ultimately, I'm not going to complain too much about Kyler Murray getting the award because he was really, really good. And, I think the Arizona Cardinals would have been a lot worse without him. And I hope he can develop into an absolute baller here in this Madden sim. At running back, we have Kenyan Drake, Duke Johnson. How the mighty have fallen. There's reports that he's actually going to get released. That's crazy to me. I think he needs a new change of scenery. I still think if the Cardinals end up releasing David Johnson, I think someone is going to get the bargain deal of the year. You look at, if he ends up going to the Patriots or something stupid, I'm going to get so frustrated. He was the best running back in football 3 years ago, and then the Cardinals had a horrible offensive line. He's had some injuries. Obviously Kenyan Drake looked pretty decent in a uniform there. And we have some questions we have to figure out here in this rebuild because David Johnson has a huge contract and Kenyan Drake is 2 years younger, better overall. I don't know what we're going to do. But either way, David Johnson, I still think the talent is there. And I think if they do decide to move on from him, he's going to have a really good comeback with whatever team he ends up landing with. You got Chase Edmonds, too, another interesting running back. Running backs aplenty here for the Arizona Cardinals. Wide receiver, we got Larry Fitzgerald, in my opinion, the best playoff wide receiver I've ever seen. Unfortunately for him, haven't made the playoffs a whole lot as of late. I'm assuming we might get a year or two out of him, but Christian Kirk is going to be that dude going forward. 78 overall star dev. He's only 22. Slot wide receiver is a scheme fit. That looks great. They have Bird with some great speed, but I'm more so going to be looking at Andy Isabella and Hakeem Butler to also develop along with Christian Kirk as our three. Andy Isabella bringing tremendous speed at a UMass 95 speed home run hitter. Actually got a face scan. Looking pretty good there, kid. Hakeem Butler, I think in real life he got hurt. He was one of my dogs. He was one of my dudes last year during the college draft process. And he looked like a monster. He could be like a guy that we could flex up the tight end. Things get a little awkward. Things get a little weird. Keyshawn Johnson, also pretty nice pickup out of Fresno State. So it's a good wide receiver room here for sure. But I'm not going to do anything crazy like release Larry Fitzgerald. He's going to be that guy. My God, that's a huge salary cap hit though. Tight end. I don't really know what we're going to do with this position. Yeah, Charles Clay, utility H-back type guy. Max Williams, I actually like him coming out of Minnesota. 25-77. We actually might, I don't know, with that age, he might be serviceable. We might be able to develop him into a starting tight end for us here. But again, I'm not going to completely rule out maybe moving Hakeem Butler here when all is said and done. Offensive line is not great. They have DJ Humphries, the former first-round pick out of Florida. That's a big salary cap hit for an average tackle. They got Pugh, former, what was he, a first-round pick for the Giants. It's also not that great of a pick. What I am going to do is take Lamont Gaillard, who I actually thought was one of their better draft picks, and we're going to move into his more natural center position. I think he will be our starting center this year as a rookie. J.R. Sweezy at guard, Florida Gators. Let's go. Max Garcia, even though he was not that great at Florida. Man, this is just a bad offensive line. A really bad. I'm telling you right now, we'll get rid of Jordan Mills in that $1 million cap hit. Goodbye, sir. So you got Marcus Gilbert. I mean, when healthy, the reason why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers moved on from him because he wasn't healthy enough. But he's a solid. He's our best lineman without a shadow of a doubt. Flipping to the defense. So we got Zach Allen, really talented. Had some first-round vibes last year during the draft process. Then once it came a little bit more fine, so he's a limited athlete. But he actually might be a starting defensive end for us. We might be able to grow and develop around him. 69-22. Right end, again, more guys. Jonathan Bullard, I might have to flex some Florida Gator bias and let him be our starter. Dogby at Temple. He actually had an insane pro day. Really good-looking athlete there. But I like Jonathan Bullard. Jonathan Bullard was a beast for Florida. I don't know if Cardinal fans can attest to who out of this group of guys was their best player, but Bullard was actually really, really good at Florida. D-tackle, we got Corey Peters here, veteran, fairly expensive. Miles Brown. It's just this is a team that has a lot of pieces that we're going to have to rebuild, which I'm excited for. Because we need the Eagles, and a lot of the Eagles team is more so losing old players, whereas now we're shifting gears with the Cardinals, where it's going to be, really just building this team. Flipping to the edge, Chandler Jones, X Factor, got the fearmonger, one of the most underrated players in the National Football League, constantly slept on when it comes to Madden, so it's going to be interesting to see how that rating holds, because he is 29, but he's a 90 Superstar X Factor. He's in our long-term plans. We'll actually get rid of Brooks Reed here, too. That's an ugly-looking contract, even though he is a scheme fit. Fitz, shout out to Pink Slips legend. We got Jordan Hicks, middle linebacker, really nice linebacker, formerly of the Eagles. I liked him in Philly. The only problem was he couldn't stay healthy. Seems like he played pretty well for the Arizona Cardinals this year, so his money well spent. The rest of the linebackers, though, just depth at this point. Joe Walker, another former Eagle. Right outside linebacker, Hassan Riddick. I don't really know what's going on with him in real life, but for Madden, we're going to hope with God that we can develop him. 75, 24 years old. He is a scheme fit, so that's looking pretty good. Corner, we got Pat Pete, very old, aging veteran, but much like Chandler Jones, we don't really have the he's only a star? I knew he didn't have a great year this year, but whoa. But very much like Chandler Jones, we do not have the talent to really look at moving on from some of our really good established veterans. Byron Murphy Jr., though, we have very high expectations. Hidden dev corner, 21 years old, out of Washington, 78, almost a scheme fit. Looks really, really nice. Outside of that, probably gonna have to, pretty much outside of Byron Murphy. Even though Pat Pete's nice for the time being, we only really have to view this as one of three corners on this roster. Free safety, Buda Baker, one of the better young safeties in the National Football League. Pretty sure he made the Pro Bowl this year for what it's worth. I mean, Pro Bowl doesn't have a whole lot of meaning anymore, but he's 23, 84 overall. Really nice playmaker. We got Jalen Thompson out of Washington State. He actually not too bad. Deontay Thompson from Alabama. That was also a pretty nice value pick. He's a 69-22. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Buda Baker. He goes from an 84 safety to 84. He's pretty much as is as a corner, and I think he's much better as like a nickel. As playing, I think that's what he plays a lot of nickel. He should play a lot of nickel for the Cardinals defense. So we're gonna make him a corner, just a nickel corner for the depth chart, so that we could see maybe just maybe Jalen Thompson, the rookie, and Deontay Thompson, the rookie, the Thompson rookies. If we could just straight up get them starting reps at safety. And still, just from like a depth chart standpoint, because even if I had Buda Baker, he probably would be slotted in on my depth chart as my nickel corner. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just more so making it from a positional standpoint. He didn't take any hits. I think that's going to be best long term. So it's an interesting roster. I don't really see any trades or anything like that I want to make. We do have David Johnson. I could see what the market does look for him, but I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of value. Maybe Charles Clay. Someone need a veteran tight end. Maybe someone like New England that needs a tight end. They could be looking that way. Other than that, man, this is just, we don't got a lot of talent. We're going to have to work pretty damn hard to make this team into a contender, but I'm excited for it. Let's go. We got an offer for Charles Clay, a third, a fifth, and a seventh, which is a little pricey for Charles Clay, but that's not enough. That's like right on that threshold because there's no first or second round picks for me to be like, that's not super realistic. If you're desperate enough, Charles Clay is a guy that could get you 600 receiving yards. If you're that desperate for the tight end position, I don't know if there's an injury. We'll definitely take that offer. So pretty big news here already in week 5, and it's not the fact that we lost to the Bengals 42-35, but we had 2 breakout scenarios that triggered this week. First up, Max Williams looking to go from normal to a star, which he hit, plus 20,000 XP, and we also had a scenario for Kenyan Drake, and he went up. Now this is one that's a little bit less ideal because he's gone up to superstar, and he's in a contract year. We've yet to renegotiate a new contract for him, so in a couple weeks' time, once we get to the bye, I'm sure he's going to cost couple more million more dollars. So we are at the bye week, pretty late bye, week 12, and we're sitting 4-7, which is pretty good on par. We're ahead of the Rams. You look at the top though, the Seahawks and Niners, both 9-2. I mean, our expectation for the Cardinals this year, what do they get in real life? 4 or 5 wins. I mean, the Cardinals are still picking really, really high in the draft. So we're sitting okay. 4-7 is about expectations. Now, a lot of contracts. So first up, we have Kenyan Drake. I feel like at this stage, it makes sense to extend him. He seems like he's going to be the lead back. Outside of that, there's just a lot of guys that are looking for new deals. A lot of depth guys. That's what happens when you're in the first year of a new coach, new regime, changing everything up. You're just trying to see what sticks. Now, this guy, Miles Brown at D tackle, is only 21. So we'll actually see if he can stick on. Just have him less than $1 million cap hit every single year. He might be able to grow and develop into something. Pretty much just looking at the ages here. Anyone that's over 25, really not looking to re-sign him. Humphreys, that's a lot of money for a guy that's just kind of bang on average. Marcus Gilbert, I mean, a 2-year deal. We can get him maybe on a 1-year deal. That would be a little more applicable because just for cover for 1 year. Actually, I'll up him just a little bit more and try to get him back on a 1 year. But other than that, man, Kenyan Drake's really the only top priority here. For this set of potential upcoming looming free agents on the Cardinals roster. And at the end of the first season, we get 6 wins, 6-10-0. When you look at the Cardinals in real life this year, they only got 5 wins. So, little bit better. I guess it's progress. Looking at our stats here, Kyler Murray, pretty effective first year in the NFL. 3,600 passing yards, 31 touchdowns to 8 picks. Probably gonna get himself Offensive Rookie of the Year. He also chipped in at 285 rushing yards. Even though they have fixed rushing quarterback numbers, probably should be a little bit better there. Kenyan Drake, 886 and 5, 404 for David Johnson. Didn't run the ball particularly well, even though we should have. Receiving, we got 48 catches, 800 yards, 8 touchdowns for Isabella, 806 for Larry Legend, 707 for Max Williams, who also got that dev trade increase. He had a huge year here. In year 1, 600 yards, 2 touchdowns for Kirk. Johnson and Drake, not too bad. Defensively, Jordan Hicks, bunch of tackles. 133 tackles, 9 TFLs, 3 sacks. He could be a guy, he's star. He could be superstar based upon those production numbers. Buda Baker, huge year as well. 100 tackles, 2 interceptions. We had 8.5 sacks from Chandler Jones, which is not bad given the state of this team. Interceptions were down just a little bit. 26 offense. Defensively, we are 30th. Yearly awards, MVP, Mitchell Trubisky. Great. It's going to be one of those rebuilds, Mitchell Trubisky finds himself right there. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Mitchell Trubisky. Kyler at 8. Defensive Player of the Year went to Fred Warner. Jordan Hicks at 9. Kyler Murray is your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Andy Isabella coming in at number 4. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Tavai. It looks almost automatic at this point. Almost every franchise I do, Tavai is winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of opportunities to get tackles there. Zach Allen coming in at 6 here for us is pretty good. And then for the rest of the individual awards, of course, we're going to have nobody. So it's the end of the first year. I have no idea how this offseason and draft is going to go. All I do know is that we 100% have to add more talent on both sides of the ball. And pretty much I'm going to be going into both free agency and the draft in a best player available mindset. And actually, year 1, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, which is kind of fitting as they did win the Super Bowl in real life. Mahomes outdueling Aaron Rodgers. So we're hopping into free agency. There are some big names. I will say right now that I am going to, whatever team gets Luck and whatever team gets Ryan Shazier, I'm just going to make them punters. I forgot to do that. But we're limiting these guys from our rebuild because that doesn't make sense. But looking at free agency here, we have a lot of money, over $80 million salary cap. And we're going to spend it kind of smartly. So Eric Armstead's a big get. I mean, he had a breakout year for the 49ers. We could bring him in and then flip Zach Allen, who I do think has some upside, to right end. One of the two, but Eric Armstead is a perfect fit for our 3-4. Jason Peters and Kalisha Assembly. Obviously, with their age, 38 and 31, we just need 1 year plug and plays. Assembly, we actually might have to flip them out to right tackle, but I just don't want to have to burn a lot of our top picks this year on linemen. So Peters and Assembly, at least 1 year band-aids that operate at a high level. We got Hack here at punter with the star dev, Zane Gonzalez re-signing him. And then there's more so some depth guys that fit our scheme. Needham, Nick Morrow, David Wells, Justin Evans. Malik Jefferson's an outside, will slide up inside. And then we get Jake Gervais, formerly of Iowa. So yeah, we're spending a lot of money here, but not a lot of players, but not really that much money. Most of these contracts are affordable, if not a 1 year. And Armstead, obviously, trying to outbid the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we have to draft at pick 8. There is an obnoxious pick that we need another wide receiver to replace Larry Fitzgerald. But we do have prospects already. But CeeDee Lamb reuniting with Kyler Murray is pretty sounds pretty juicy. But I mean, Christian Fulton's still here. Gross Matos, Tristan Wirfs, Jedrick Wills. All players that I think could have legitimate shots to get drafted by the Arizona Cardinals. We got to think with our heads here. I'm going to go Tristan. Wills is actually a scheme fit, but I think Wirfs is a better player. So we're gonna do it. CeeDee Lamb connection sounds good, but we have Isabella, we have Christian Kirk, and we're hoping that we can develop Hakeem Butler, another wide receiver out in the mix. Wouldn't really help that. So we're going to go with the uber athletic tackle, Tristan Wirfs, 74 hidden dev trait, number 17 in true talent. We got him at pick 8. Exceptional athlete, and should be day one starter at right tackle, and gives us a luxury to flex. We actually moved Justin Pugh to tackle because we signed a Kalicia Assembly on that 1 year deal. We can move Pugh back inside and have Wirfs start at right tackle and learn under Jason Peters. And to get our draft recap from our first draft after the Tristan Wirfs selection, which I hope does not come back to bite us, going him over CeeDee Lamb. In the second round, we got Jeff Gladney, corner from TCU, scheme fit 70 with a hidden dev trait, 95 speed. We get 74 man. We got Muti, 65 guard, scheme fit, just solid player. Fourth round, 67 defensive end, Jabari Zuniga from Florida, 67 overall. There's some upside there for sure. We got Gaziano, another scheme fit at defensive end, 66 scheme fit. Bravian Roy, nose tackle from Baylor, 63 scheme fit. We got David Reese. I actually remember this from the setup to our new franchise. He was sitting there, UDFA, 65 hidden dev. It's tied to be a scheme fit. Too much value to pass up on. And then we just got another scheme fit outside linebacker, Lucius South from UCLA. Not an overall great player, but should be able to fill out the depth chart. But hey, David Reese coming with a dev trait, Jeff Gladney with the dev trait, and our big selection, Tristan Wirfs, also coming with the dev trait. Really, really good first draft here for the Arizona Cardinals. So as we get ready for year 2, an improved squad up to an 80 overall. When you look at everything across the board here, so we have superstar in Kyler Murray, superstar in Kenyan Drake, bringing in Taysom Hill for the memes as our backup. Christian Kirk, star dev. No dev trade increase for Isabella. I thought having him be our slot for year 1 might have had a chance, but, there's still some upside. But we're really rolling with the young core. Hakeem Butler, Keyshawn Johnson, Isabella, and Kirk, trying to replace Larry Fitzgerald, who retired in the offseason. Offensive line, we got 2 1-year Band-Aids here in Jason Peters and Assembly. Hoping Gaillard and Muti can continue to develop. And then Tristan Wirfs, our big first-round pick, starting at tackle. Max Williams, the breakout offensive player from year 1, 82 star, scheme fit as a blocking tight end, but he had pretty good production, and I like seeing that. You look to the defense. The front 3, we brought in Eric Armstead, our big money free agency signing, but we're going young and inexperienced for the rest of the line. Zach Allen needs to continue to develop, and we're going with Miles Brown, the 1 year, entering his sophomore season out of Wofford. Hey, Grownby, our nose tackle, please. Pat Pete is pretty much going to hold Jeff Gladney from getting a lot of reps as a rookie, but you don't lose dev traits, which is fine, and probably Pat Pete might not get a brand new contract. I think it's this year when it comes up. But Pat Pete, Buda Baker, and Byron Murphy are going to be our 3 corners for the time being, all star devs. Gladney chomping at the bit to get in. We got Thompson there at free safety, at strong safety. The other Thompson, Jones, X Factor. Hicks did not go up a dev trait with all those tackles he had last year, which is a little annoying. But we're going to pair with David Reese with that dev trait as a rookie to be our middle linebacker. Hassan Reddick still growing and developing. All in all, nice team. We had 6 wins last year. I think we could push for 8-8 here in year 2. Realistic expectations, but I just really hope Kyler Murray continues to play very, very well. Maybe get a little bit more production running the ball. They're coming off a massive Week 3 victory over the Jets, a dev trait scenario for Andy Isabella. He's gone from normal up to a star plus 5,000 XP. Then we had Hassan Reddick on the defense, and unfortunately he did not make it. He's dying. He's just itching to become the next big wide receiver. We have Andy Isabella going from star to superstar, and unfortunately we got absolutely railroaded Week 5 against the New England Patriots. But just so you know, that potential, Andy Isabella wants to become an X factor sooner than later. We're coming out of the bye week, and we're 4-4, which is not bad, not great. It's 500. I said 8-8 was what I wanted for my goal minimum this year, and we're on pace for that. Contracts at the midway point. First up, we have Budda Baker, who absolutely is a top priority. 5 years, $61 million. Really, a lot of the veterans outside of that aren't. Patrick Peterson is a legend, but we brought in Jeff Gladney. He's not seeing the field because Budda Baker and Byron Murphy are there. It just makes the most sense to get a little bit younger at this position. And, I'm assuming Jason Peters is going to retire. Kelisi Assembly is going to regress into the 70s. So, yeah, we'll make sure we can extend Budda Baker, and the rest up in the air at best. If 8-8 was our goal, we fell short of that goal here in year 2. Bottom dwellers in the NFC West, a competitive NFC West, but 7-9. Progress from a year ago, but still only 1 win is not really that good. We're up to an 83 overall. As far as dev traits, Wirfs came out with a superstar dev, which is huge. Great value there in the first round. Still don't know if we're further ahead or not by getting him over CeeDee Lamb. However, Isabella did emerge and developed, took big strides this year. And if we had CeeDee Lamb, that might not have happened. And Akeem Butler's, progressing nicely as a 75 overall. So I think Wirfs was the smarter decision, made the more realistic decision as well, because we're set to probably lose Jason Peters and Assembly, and then we can take Wirfs and flip him back to left tackle. On the defensive side, David Reese emerged as a star dev. But we had no dev trait increases for anybody, which wasn't particularly great. Looking at our stats here at the end of year 2, Kyler Murray, not bad, not great. Just, it is what it is. 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Run game, not great. Kyler Murray, a little bit more production on the ground, which is something I want to see from him. 350 and 3. Receiving, Andy Isabella, big year. 82 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns at the slot. We got 909 from Kirk. 680 and 6 from Butler, 503 from Max Williams. Honestly, I'm taking those numbers. Maybe a little bit better from Kenyan Drake would have been ideal, but I'll take those numbers right now for a young developing offense. Big year for Jordan Hicks, 115 tackles, 10 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 picks, over 100 for Riddick, 100 for Baker, 3 interceptions for him, big time production, 12 sacks. Chandler Jones, 6 sacks for the big money free agent Eric Armstead. Might want to see a little bit better than that, but he is a 3-4 and 6 sacks. That's probably like the minimum year I want from Armstead. I'll take 50 tackles, 13 TFL, 6 sacks. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP went to... What timeline is this? I'm not going to lie. I don't hate seeing that. I would rather see RG3 win the MVP, have some sort of big comeback tour than like Trubisky and Mariota who usually win it. But just gives you further evidence that like this Titans offense is cheesy as hell in the sim. But hey, congrats to RG3 for winning the MVP. We got to see these numbers. Come on. What? RG3, like he's like a 60-something overall. And he just comes in off the street, 39 touchdowns, 41 touchdowns, just like that. Just like, whoa, okay? But for the rest of the yearly awards, Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC went to Ezekiel Elliott. Hey, Kyler coming in at 4, so he's already slowly getting ready to take the league over. The defensive side, Hicks and Reddick both showing up. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Joe Burrow. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Troy Dye. Then for the rest of the image awards, No, we had no one. Let's get in the offseason. And actually, we get some Pro Bowlers this year. I'm actually kind of shocked. I didn't think last year no one made the Pro Bowl. This year, Budda Baker is corner 1. We got Hassan Reddick is right outside linebacker 1. Starters. on the Pro Bowl. And then we also have on the offensive side of the ball, our boy, Andy Isabella. Champions, our divisional rival, Seattle Seahawks, which is always a little bit more added pressure as Pat Pete actually went up in dev trait, because of course he would. But we're going to let him walk. We got to get younger here. How did he go up in dev trait? On the next free agent, there's some interesting names here for sure. Trent Williams, we could get another one-year Band-Aid, but I think it's time to bite the bullet and get a tackle. Probably second, third round in the draft. Sherman's there, Aaron Jones. Some nice names, but for me, we're going to go splurge a little bit here at strong safety, and hopefully we can acquire the services of Keanu Neal. Thompson is just not really developing that quickly. He's not a bad player, but I think it's time to get a game changer, another game changer in that secondary, more of a big hitter. I think that is going to be it. Keanu Neal is a problem solver at strong safety. And very much like the time we tried to sign him with the Raiders, I just cannot sign Keanu Neal if my life depended on it. So, I mean, we do have Butler trying to develop him, but with John Ross with a very affordable deal. Not a huge market. He's 25. He's up to a superstar. You know, it is a Cliff Kingsbury pick. He's a type of player. Adding that speed with Isabella's 95 speed, it's going to be, you know, you want to try to mimic the Kansas City Chiefs. And this is how you do it. Why does everybody hate me? And for our final real prospects draft, we hit one of my best ones I think I've ever had. We just pretty much went best player available every round. We got Creed Humphrey, center from Oklahoma, 77 hidden dev traits, monster. One of the best center prospects, maybe the best center prospect I can think of in the last decade. Then we got Fedarian Mathis in the second round, 70 hidden dev, run stuffing D tackle, who's probably going to be able to challenge for the starting position as a rookie out of Alabama. This is ridiculous. These are my draft classes, and this is almost an error, but my scouting came up. Filet, who's a meme at this point. He's a gigantic human being. Not a scheme fit whatsoever, but for whatever reason, when I scouted him, I had a first-round grade on him. Literally, there's something wrong with this. This is going to get fixed for my draft classes, but I was like, okay, sure, let's go in a scenario where this mammoth of a human being is actually really good. So we got an unreal pick here, and I'm probably going to slide it. I don't even know where I'm going to put him, to be completely honest with you. Then we got Amon-Ra St. Brown was slipping. He's a 70 hidden dev wide receiver at a USC. Can compete with Butler, Hakeem Butler for some snaps. We got Jack Anderson, 6'6" guard. We got Kennard, 70 tackle out of Kentucky, value pick. KJ Britt, 68 linebacker. We got Desmond Ridder to come in and be the backup out of Cincinnati. And then Ogbongbemiga from Oklahoma State. Sure, but he's a scheme fit. Really bad pick, though. Outstanding draft, though. Getting a 70-68. And this guy. What? This is unreal. Got to fix that, though. Year 3 is kicking off, and I think we're a really, really good young team, and we're building the foundation from the line out to make this team into a very serious contender. Kyler's up to an 85, Kenyan Drake 83, both superstar. Kirk and Isabella, star dev wide receivers. We had Hakeem Butler. Now we bring in St. Brown with the hidden dev. You flip to the offensive line. I don't know why it did this, but we're going to fix it because Wirfs is going to be left tackle and Filet is going to be right tackle because it fits their schemes. We got Humphrey. We got 2 hidden devs, so at least, at worst, 2 stars that were added to this offensive line. What is going on? None of this makes sense. I don't know why it reshuffled, but we'll fix it because none of these guys. I want Tristan Wirfs at left tackle. Left guard is going to be Gaillard. Center is going to be Humphrey. Right guard is going to be Muti. And then we're going to go Filet at right tackle. I don't know. It's stupid. So then if you flip into the defense, we actually had no dev traits earned last year, which is a little bit weird. We're going to go young. We're going to go Fedarian Mathis at nose tackle. Armstead and Zuniga. Baker, Murphy, and Gladney are going to be our corners. No more Pat Pete. Thompson and Thompson are slowly developing, but they're developing nicely. Chandler Jones is not regressing too bad. David Reese emerged as a star dev, so we'll make him our linebacker too. And actually, I think Hassan Riddick went from normal to a star dev based upon his production last year, which absolutely, for the former first-round pick, we'll take that as he is entering a contract year. So, what we had, 7-9 last year? Let's just keep going 1 for 1. If we can go 8-8, 9-7, I'll be happy this season. Might be able to squeak in to the playoffs via the wild card round. Coming out of the bye year 3, we are not good at all. 2-6, gonna have to figure it out. I don't know exactly what we're missing. I'm just assuming Kyler Murray's not playing amazing in the sim. He's not playing terrible. He's playing middle of the park, which is not Not really where I need him to play at. Contracts, let's see. What do we got? So we got Chandler Jones. That's a lot of 3 years. We have so much money, though. And at this point, we do not have a replacement for him. So I'm going to try. Pretty much at this point, I'm going to try to resign as many guys because we have well over $100 million worth of salary cap. And, we don't have a whole lot of talent on the roster. And really, the only big contract looming is going to be Kyler Murray's deal. And that's not going to be too ridiculous. So we'll make sure we get Chandler Jones and Mac Williams locked up. And then even that, both those contracts are fairly reasonable. Conclusion of year 3, we are 4-12. Number 1 pick in the draft. To fix what? See, that's my issue. Where are we going to spend the number 1 pick? We look at Creed Humphrey came out superstar dev, Filet star, even though, that's just a weird looking pick. St. Brown came out as, I'm looking at, okay, on the offense, what needs to get fixed? I'm not going to use the number 1 pick on a guard. We get 2 guards on the right side of 25. That should continue to develop. But we got 3 out of 5 on the offensive line set for most of this rebuild, right? And hopefully one of these guards can stick. Defense, maybe? We could use maybe a game changer if we can get a really good 3-4 end, maybe. Good middle linebacker, there's no real weakness on this team, man. What are we gonna burn a first-round pick? We could use another middle linebacker, but even then, we still have dev traits. Let's look at the stats. Maybe the stats will show us what is exactly going wrong here. Kyler Murray is just playing good. He's playing good. He's not playing great. He's not playing amazing. He's playing good. If you get 27 touchdowns and you're getting under 10 turnovers, that's a good year. You flip in, our running attack is not doing anything. Maybe we needed a game changer at running back. Kenyan Drake's not the answer, which is annoying. But David Johnson's set to be a free agent, so we'll get that contract out the books. Christian Kirk, big year. 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. We got 601 from Isabella, 606. Max Williams, he got himself a new contract. 604, Hakeem Butler. Defensively, 109 tackles for Hicks, over 100 for Hassan Riddick, 6 sacks, Chandler Jones. Definitely need more sacks, but we're running a 3-4, and in Madden, I cannot get sacks, regardless of what scheme I'm running in a 3-4. Interceptions, we're definitely down. MVP is Patrick Mahomes. Offensive Player of the Year, Matt Ryan. Defensive Player of the Year, Quan Alexander. Rookie of the Year, Justin Fields. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jalen Phillips. Weird. Then for your individual awards, not seeing a lot of love the Arizona Cardinals way, but then again, when you're the worst team in the league, that's going to happen. So let's get into the next draft with the first overall pick for our first Madden-generated draft class. Look at the free agency. There are some interesting names here. Unfortunately, we can get Van Der Esch, but that's $100 million. We have money, but we don't have... Let's sign Leighton Van Der Esch to $100 million and ignore Kyler Murray. So, Jordan Hicks is playing well. You look at the base value, obviously you can see 77, and you can only imagine Van Der Esch probably jumps up to 94, 95, you move him inside. But Jordan Hicks is playing very well. He's debatably our most productive linebacker, our most productive defensive player. So what I'm going to do on the flip side is we're going to improve the run game. We're going to bring in a fullback. I'm going to sign Kerryon Johnson. Kenyan Drake's going to be an RB2. Maybe he'll excel better in that role, but we pretty much flipped a kind of ugly contract in David Johnson, so we have more money to spend at that running back position based upon how our roster has been built up to this point. So getting someone like Kerryon Johnson, who's in his prime at 25, makes a whole lot of sense, and hopefully we can run the ball a lot better, bringing him into the fold. And here we go. Clearly going to pick up the 5th-year option for Mr. Kyler Murray. All right, so with the number 1 overall pick, here's our drop board. I will say, we're going to go right down here. We already have our 2nd-round pick. Regardless of how this goes, remember that video we made? If you didn't attend the combine, you get a 1st-round grade. Marcus Crosby, I have very high expectations. He looks amazing. That we might get a superstar X Factor out of him, which would be sensational. Or we'll be able to do in one video that I spent 15 drafts trying to prove that these guys are always X Factors, and we might disprove it here in this rebuild. And the way it's going, it might. There's some really good corners. This guy here, Irvin, might be one of the best prospects. I'm a little scared about that speed. But for me, I think the number 1 player here is Ashton Wheeler. 6'5". When you're 315 pounds and you run a 4.75, you're probably the guy. There's really nice looking wide receivers. That got to be the pick. Number 1 overall, Ashton Wheat. Like, that is insane. Those are insane numbers. And he comes out number 1. That's the number 1 guy. 79 hidden dev. You are 6'5", 315. So you're built like a nose tackle, right? You're built like a nose tackle, and you come in with 81 93 strength. Oh my God, this guy is terrifying. He's an absolute, like, I can't even, there's no comp for this guy. Calais Campbell, maybe? So we're not going to mess around. We're going to grab this corner. Please be hidden dev. Please be hidden dev. Oh. All right. Scrap that video I just made. Really good player, but not X Factor. He had everything we were looking for, except X Factor. However, he did, when we scouted him, he came out as a late first rounder. Maybe that's the thing. You need a mid first or early first round to get that X Factor. I feel like what we uncovered, we're onto something. We just didn't have it refined enough. I mean, this guy's still a really good pick, but I think that's probably more important is when you scout them and they get that first round grade, what kind of first round grade are they getting? Are they getting early? Are they getting mid? Or are they getting late? This is what it looks like when you get a late. You still get a really good player, but you're not getting the dev trade. So after, kind of dispelling our own myth, or at least I like to think we refined it. We are continuing to find these guys, and we're gathering more knowledge, and you're generally still going to be on the right path of drafting those first-round grade non-combine attenders. Our draft still finished out really, really well. We got Kendrick Weary from UCLA, 72. He is more of a defensive end, so we'll just make him an end for right now. We got Chris, 70 D tackle, and then we're again probably more of a defensive end, which will make him a third. I think he's our third guy on our depth chart here at left defensive end. We got a 63 tackle Kawhi Livingston, but he came out hidden dev, 63 hidden dev at Oregon State. I like that. This pick in the 6th round, Howard Strong, 73 normal. Again, going high bench. You can always trust high bench for the most part, and you go get guys that didn't run a fast forward. That's an unreal pick in the 6th. That might be one of the highest overalls I've ever got in day 3, late day 3. And then we just finished up with a depth guard. But this guy, Wheeler, one of the most insane prospects I've ever drafted. I'm excited to see what the future holds. Hey, local kid, Arizona. There we go. Year 4 for the Cardinals, looking to not be the worst team in the National Football League this year. Very low expectations. When you look at the offense, Kyler Murray, about to be a 90 overall and about to get paid this year. We brought in Kerryon Johnson, almost a 90 overall running back to complement Kenyan Drake. Wide receivers are developing nicely. Offensive line's looking pretty good. We added Humphrey, who's now a superstar. Falele, 81 star. For the most part, though, the offensive line's young and upside. Mathis and Armstead are starting along with our first round number 1 overall pick, Wheeler out of Arizona State. We got Buda Baker, Byron Murphy, and Jeff Gladney in the secondary. All stars, all lots of upside. Safeties are actually developing pretty nicely at this point, at this rate. And everyone in the linebacking core, great dev. And hopefully, not a lot of regression for Chandler Jones this season. Again, how is this team sucking? I have no answer. But hopefully, we went in and we delegated. We brought in a fullback. We brought in a more consistent runner in Kerryon Johnson over Kenyan Drake. So hopefully the run game gets things going and we can get some wins and sneak into the playoffs. Or at least, hey, do better than the worst team in the league here in year 4. The good news here is a final week 7 victory to go 500, 3-3-1. We get a dev trade upgrade for Andy Isabella going from star to a superstar plus 4,000 XP. However, he's in a contract year, which means it's going to add a couple extra zeros to his eventual contract extension. As we come into the bye, Andy Isabella just on a roll, wants to go to an X Factor. However, it's a big jump to ask to get 4 touchdowns or 200-some yards in a single game. But contract time, I think he's definitely earned himself a brand new contract, and I'm going to give him a 5-year deal. 5-year, 45. We have lots of money to be able to spend around here. We want Byron Murphy, 5-year deal. Thank you, sir. Jalen Thompson, I think he's earned himself as well. Another 5-year deal, less than $2 million cap hit. I love the contracts of safeties. They are quite joyful to me. This one even, how come he wants more? Deontay Thompson wants a little bit more, but we'll take that. 2.5. He wants, obviously, yeah, it's going to be tough. We don't want to lose a lot of these guys because they're in 25. They're on the right side. What do we got here for Zach Allen? If we give him like a 5-year deal, what's the cap hit looking like? 4 years, 20. Oh my God. Okay, everyone else, they're gonna have to play well this year for me to want to give them more money. The age and overalls look enticing, but if they're not playing well, it doesn't make sense to give them any money. And then finally, in year 4, ugly record, don't matter, I'll take it. 9-6-1, your Arizona Cardinals have made the playoffs, and we got an ugly NFC West title. Our first title only took 4 long years. Team's up to an 86 overall, very high morale boost. Kyler Murray, 94, but I think he has +3 morale boost, which is great. Isabella's superstar, should really be wide receiver 1 at this point. It doesn't really matter, but he's an absolute monster. Running game got it going. Looking at the defense, our boy Wheeler emerged as a superstar dev player out of Arizona State. Not an X factor, but I'll take superstar dev nonetheless. That's the only really hidden dev that we had on the defense. Looking at what turned around. What turned our fortunes on their head. Kyler Murray, just playing amazing. 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns. 4 interceptions are kind of high. 14 picks is kind of high, but that is, without a doubt, the most productive year for Kyler Murray so far. We got 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns from Kerryon Johnson. So bringing in a running back paid immediate dividends. Kyler Murray chipping in 530 and 7. We might got he's over 41 total touchdowns. We might have an MVP candidate on our hands. Kenyan Drake, solid year. Honestly, the touchdowns are about dead on to what he was as a starter. So maybe he's just always a compliment guy. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Andy Isabella, huge year, 79 catches, 1,400 yards, 14 tutties, 1,108 for Kirk, 7 and 6 for Max Williams. Why I keep calling him Mac, I don't know. 130 tackles for Jordan Hicks, 3 sacks, 3 picks, 4.5 sacks for Riddick. We got 10 sacks, Chandler Jones, Ashton Wheeler, 14 TFL, 61 tackles, 10 sacks as a rookie. Beast. Interceptions are also up for the defense. We had the #1 offense in the NFL. Number 28 defense. Got to get better there. Yearly awards, Kyler Murray. Woo! MVP. Let's go. MVP Kyler Murray on a 9-win team. I'll take it. Did we get Coach of the Year? NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Kyler Murray. So again, hopefully we get that X factor off of that. That's going to be very important. Defensive Player of the Year went to Khalil Mack. Jordan Hicks, runner-up at number 2. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, our boy Ashton Wheeler. Love seeing that. Didn't win Best Quarterback. Went to Russell Wilson. And then for individual awards, Andy Isabella, Best Wide Receiver. Could be in play as a X Factor upgrade. Nice. All right, Kyler Murray, breakout season, and we're gonna make a playoff run here in year 4. Our general manager wants to congratulate us. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Drafted offensive lineman, non-sexy offensive lineman, worse and Creed Humphrey back-to-back drafts seemed dumb at the time, but here we are. Here we are. Look at us now. Let's go take on the 11-5 Giants and stomp them on their heads. All right, well, we have no idea how this team plays in the sim, but we do know we have the MVP. That should count for something, right? Oh, I forgot to retire Andrew Luck. I hope to God they don't have Andrew Luck. See, the Giants always get Andrew Luck, and I forgot to retire Andrew Luck, and we're getting smoked. And if they have Andrew Luck, I actually deserve it because I didn't do it. I didn't get rid of him or Shazier like I promised I was going to. I was lazy. I wasn't lazy. I just forgot. I'm recording this very early in the morning, but we are getting skunked right now. Who is their quarterback? Thoroughly outplayed. Though didn't really deserve to be on the field. Hey, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Okay. Still disappointing. Even maybe that's more disappointing. Defense didn't show up. Kyler Murray played fine, but not an MVP showing. Did not put the team on his back, though, as we crash and burn. One and done, as I will right now go retire Andrew Luck. Should be represented well in the Pro Bowl. We don't even have the #1. The MVP's not the starting quarterback. I feel like that is highly questionable. Kyler Murray's there. I feel like Kerryon should have made it, but Andy Isabella's wide receiver 1. And the offensive line, we have no one there. What? No. Chandler Jones, Jordan Hicks, Hassan Riddick. Kenyan Drake's the #1 kick returner. That's cool. Free agency, don't care who's there. I was thinking about bidding on Taylor Rapp. 100%. Check it out. Kyler Murray's gonna want $200 trillion. Don't wanna suffocate my team until we get that contract under wraps. So we're gonna have to dip out of this free agency that has some interesting names for sure, especially in that secondary. But we gotta think with our heads here. Kyler Murray's gonna probably reset the market. He's your MVP. You know, I don't want to pay Kyler Murray and then not be able to re-sign any of our other young players. So until we get an idea what kind of contract we're dealing with, it'd be irresponsible to sign any of these free agents this year, at least any big ones. I desperately wanted to trade back into the second round because there is a wide receiver tight end hybrid that I think would just be too good to pass up. So to move up, we got a second round pick. We traded our third, our fourth, and a 67 star dev right tackle. That's 23-24. I hope this works out. Because, I mean, we don't need a tight end, but this guy here just looks so freaky. I think it'd be fun to have him. So, let's show you him. It's Raheem Hunter from Alabama, 6'4", 230. He's strong. Like, this guy here, he's primed to be moved to tight end position. He's a 68. I think we can move him to tight end. I think he's going to be a beast. We'll see what that rating shoots up to. But at face value, not a great trade, but I think this guy's very interesting for us to find a way to utilize him on offense. So we didn't have a whole lot of draft assets after we traded up for that wide receiver from Alabama. But outside of the draft, outside of that, so we finished up pretty good. We got Nathan Cleary from Florida International, 70 normal. Not really a scheme fit, though. It was just more so best player available. We got a 69 guard in the 5th round, which pretty much compensates for that tackle that we had to give up to trade with the Green Bay Packers. And then the 6th round, got a 60 overall strong safety. However, it does have a hidden dev trait. Scheme fit. We'll be interested to see how he develops. But here's the big one. This guy here was a tight end all day long. So he goes from a 68 wide receiver, moving him to tight end, where we actually do need another tight end. And he shoots up to a 73 overall monster, man. This guy's going to be really, really interesting to see how he catches on. Obviously not a blocker by any means. You're going to have to probably start growing that tree a little bit. But really, really nice looking player. Year 5, final year, coming off our first playoff berth, and just from upgrading some of these players, we had the craziest offseason for just development. So, flipping to the offense, your MVP, Kyler Murray, earned himself an X Factor. He's gambler, so that's like the Aaron Rodgers. That's a sick X Factor ability. They cannot be intercepted by AI players, and he would have hit that there. A Super Bowl week, Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, going up to an X Factor, unreal. Andy Isabella has now welcomed himself into that other upper echelon of an X Factor as well. First one free. He would have got that Super Bowl week for getting wide receiver of the year. Awesome. That's it in terms of dev traits here on the offense. You know, I'll take that. I will take 2. And then you go to the defense. Wheeler got promoted to a superstar X Factor. Unstoppable force, which is like the best thing you can get. I have no idea how he got this. Defensive rookie of the year, that's rare. You get offensive defensive rookie of the year consistently, very rarely. Probably less than 20% of the time, 25% of the time, you get that dev trait increase. He did superstar X Factor. I love it. Hassan Riddick got promoted to superstar. I don't know how that happened. What he got, probably just statistics-wise. Because I don't think he won it yet. Just based upon his stats, you went from star up to superstar. So a lot of development. A lot of growth here. No more Jordan Hicks, though. We're going to need David Reese to step up inside here in the linebacking core. They're going to have to have some big gears as there is some turnover there. We got Hilbert, our first-round pick, 73 hidden dev. More so an outside linebacker. I'm not going to lie. I drafted him to be the successor to Chandler Jones. So we're going to make him our left outside linebacker just for now. Get him converted. Get him try to sort it up there. Which he goes from a 72 to a 74. He actually gets an upgrade. He's a much better scheme fit there. But he's going to be the successor to Chandler Jones, who I'm assuming this might be his last year with the Cardinals. So that was more of a forward-thinking move in the first round. But this team is really, really good. And I think yet again, we got our best football ahead of us. Let's see if we can get our second divisional title of the rebuild. And maybe have a chance at Super Bowl here. Coming to the bye here, year 5. This is, again, a perfect example why we, for the realistic rebuilds, do 10 years, because here in the 5th and final year, we have yet to get our first win. Our team had unbelievable offseason. We have the reigning defending MVP who's looking to get paid, and we've yet to win a game. He's not playing well. We can't let him go, but this is annoying. It's just your annoying Madden stuff. There we go. Of course, he wants a little bit more money. We should prioritize him. I'll get David Reese because we have absolutely nothing outside of him at linebacker. And he still has a good dev trait. That's a really affordable deal. Gladney, that's actually not that bad either. We bumped that up to a 5-year, $2.6 million cap hit on average. That's not bad at all. Armstead has actually not been performing, so I feel like we'll just re-sign Kyler Murray, and that'll be about it. But this is going to be a contract. Doesn't want that. It's probably going to be 195 million, around that range, 94, 95 million. And I'm not expecting no wins, 0-5-1 for my MVP quarterback that I'm about to pay $200 million. Oh, you do you? Haha, let me introduce you to my friend, the franchise tag. Boy, that is anticlimactic. I mean, as we finish the first part of the rebuild, 5-9-2 for the Cardinals. So without a shadow of a doubt, through 3 rebuilds, our least successful. We only have 1 divisional title to show for it, and we were 1 and done in the playoffs. Even though our team is actually like super boys to be unreal, like X factors for days on both offense and defense, and most of our roster, 90%, are in their prime, if not about to hit their prime. Where did it go wrong? Obviously, the 2 ties. I mean, look, the Rams had 3 ties. Just seems like a weird franchise mode. No other really way around it. Kyler Murray played okay. 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 9 picks. On his way to getting franchise tagged this offseason. And I'm actually going to do that before I forget. Kerryon Johnson, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. We got 5-5 for Kyler Murray. 4-3 for Kenyan Drake. Receiving, we got 70 catches, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns for Isabella, who's definitely emerged as one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. Kirk with 850 and 5. Almost 606 from Amon-Ra St. Brown. Max Williams with a solid year. Hunter got 3 touchdowns as a rookie, and obviously a backup duty role for tight end, but maybe he's going to be able to progress a little bit next year. He's up to a 76 overall. It's like if you're a Cardinal fan, Ricky Seals-Jones, converted wide receiver, takes a little bit of time, but eventually could be a beast tight end, and that's what we're hoping for Raheem Hunter. Budda Baker led the team, 129 tackles, 111 for Reese, 105 for Britt, 101 for Byron Murphy, 8 sacks, 11 TFLs for Wheeler. Oh, jeez. Okay. Not a great year. Where's Chandler Jones? Had no sacks. And he played a decent amount. It wasn't like we just weren't using 40 tackles. No sacks on the day for Chandler Jones. Only 4 picks on the year, 2 for Byron. That's all. We had the 5th offense, and I guarantee 32nd defense. We got to have the worst defense in the league. There we go. Well, at least we know we have to go in the draft. Get better on defense. MVP is Ezekiel Elliott. Kyler Murray coming in at number 3. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Ezekiel Elliott. Kyler Murray runner-up. Defensive Player of the Year went to Fred Warner. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Bolton. Raheem Hunter, our tight end hybrid, came in at number 5. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Cleary, defensive end, coming in at 5. Cool. QB went to Jordan Love. Andy Isabella is our best wide receiver. That's pretty cool. That's about it. I mean, there's nothing else really to hang our hat on here. This was a disappointing rebuild in every sense of the word so far. And if we were just doing standard realistic rebuilds, I'd be pretty upset at this point, because this literally would be like our worst rebuild of the year, even dating back to like the other style of rebuilds. 1 divisional title, and that is it. Look at the Pro Bowl. Andy Isabella made it. We have 1 Pro Bowler. Oh my God. We have 1 Pro Bowler. Budda Baker. Here we go. 2 Pro Bowlers. Let's go. That is not good. Only 2 of our players made the Pro Bowl in the 5th year of the rebuild. The big year. The biggest year. So there's no other way to end this video other than, when we did the Raiders rebuild, our first rebuild, it did not look good. As the Cincinnati Bengals won your Super Bowl, there was a bunch of ties. And the Bengals win the Super Bowl lets you know just what kind of year this was. But for the Raiders rebuild, for the first 5 years, we did not have a lot of success. And then we dominated in the backstretch. I'm hoping that's going to be the case here with the Cardinals as we go find Mr. Kyler Murray and franchise tag him for 1 year. And hope to God that for part 2 of this Cardinals rebuild, we can string together some wins, because this team is really, really well built. And I definitely think they deserve at least 1 Super Bowl. But that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you for watching. As I told you at the beginning, tomorrow we'll be dropping the newest episode of the franchise mode. Probably Monday or Tuesday, we'll have part 2 here of the Cardinals rebuild. As we get through these rebuilds, I'm always looking for suggestions on what team you want to see next. So let me know what you want to see in the comment section below. And until next time, it's C4 saying first time stopping by. Don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, catch you on the next one. Peace out.
money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch. Here comes a monster to scare all you kids. Y'all scared, what you running from? Y'all scared, what you running from? Y'all scared, what you running from? Y'all scared,